So coming from your background and working and building brands, do you consider yourself a brand? And if so, what would be your mission statement?
Wow, I don't know if I consider myself a brand, but clearly I live some sort of entity that everyone's familiar with. They associate me with this healing jujitsu negativity into positivity, make something out of these advantageous setbacks thing. So if that's a brand, yeah, I guess as of today, I'm going to start considering myself in my own mind a brand. So that's a big deal, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, let's put an X-ray on it. You are a brand.
I am a brand.
Yeah, you are a brand.
Okay.
You stand for positivity. You stand for connection.
Okay.
You stand for bringing things together. And there's a joy that you present that's rare.
Wow, I just got goosebumps.
And cheekbones.
No, but when we all met the other day, and that was the first thing I thought of. As soon as I heard you come in the door, you were like, "Hi guys, I'm here." You heard the sunshine, you heard the joy, and then literally we were watching you and there was like a glow of sunshine around you.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And then that's the way, it's so great to meet people like that. And I've been so looking forward to this moment because it's just fun to, talk to people that have such a great idea of what they are about and how they can share that. And I mean, similar to what you were just saying, about music being healing, it's something that we all know, but when we talked to you and you were telling some of these examples, it's incredible how healing music really can be. We're all surrounded by it in every facet of our life, but when you get down to certain things, like you were saying, it's therapeutic, it's meditative. I mean, talk to us about some of the things that you're working on that kind of cover that.
I'll just tell you a little bit of my life. I would not be here right now if I didn't work with the most glorious, wonderful human being, Nile Rodgers.
The king.
A moment, Nile Rodgers. We'll move on now.
Let me just say, Nile said something to me at the start of my cancer journey in 2015 that changed the trajectory for me.
Oh, wow.
When I told him I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and he was then a one-time survivor, now 2 times, he said to me, play as much music as possible.
That line.
That's
it.
He held my hand. Play as much music as possible. If I didn't listen to that, I wouldn't have tapped into then the healing, the joy, everything that comes with music that would keep my immune system strong through cancer. And here's a fact, I was going through cancer treatment and then became allergic to it. They took me off of it. So I was left flapping in the wind. I was like, I'm allergic to this drug. Where's the Kirkland version? Where's the CVS brand version? And they were like, there isn't one. So I was like, what do I do? And my amazing oncologist, she said, be happy.
Be happy.
Be happy. I looked at her like, what?
I would have jumped over the table and was like, are you kidding me?
My insurance is not covering that statement. What are you talking about? I was furious because I was like, where's the drug? Where's the pharmaceutical thing? Once I got home, I realized what she meant. But even if I was on treatment, if I wasn't finding ways to be happy, how well would that treatment go? 7 years later, taken off of treatment, fully in remission.
Oh, incredible.
Because I'm just music every day. Storytelling and sharing and just, I got sick because I kept a lot in me. And I thought as a designer and as a creative person, I was like, I'm just having creative block. Like, I'm just not, but I was wrong. I was creating a perfect breast cancer that whole time. And once it was clear that's what I made, I was like, oh, how did I make this? I have to do everything opposite now because I made this. On the cellular level, I made it, right? So I realized, what does my life look like? I don't really have joy. Now, the ironic part is when I was going through my head injury healing and regaining memories, I had this intuitive sense that I think I need to get into some music. So I bought a piano off of Craigslist. Old dude brings a piano in and I'm like sitting in front of this piano that still smells like frankincense. It was from a church.
And up to this point, you had not played piano.
I was sitting there. I was like, I'm going to learn.
Okay.
I'm going to go on YouTube. I sit in front of it, start playing chords. And And I was like, crap, I knew how to play piano. I didn't remember.
Oh, wow.
I called my mom and I said, Mom, do I play piano? And she
You're
said,
amazing.
since you were 5.
Oh, wow.
I did not remember that. So that's how I knew like it was music that was going to pull me out of this. You know, we walk around in these like weakened, dark states and we don't even realize it sometimes. And that was me. That's like me now, you know, realizing all those times where, as Deepak Chopra said to me a few weeks ago, we are sleepwalking into our extinction.
Mm.
And when he said that, I realized all the times in my life, we're just sleepwalking through things. And now I'm the most open, the most awake, the most musical I've ever been, the strongest I've been. 7 years post-cancer, as devastating as that is for the body, mind, spirit, soul, everything, it is possible to be where I am now. And that's a big message I want to communicate.
A lot of layers in this onion. You just laid
I know,
through.
my God.
So let's
like 10 lifetimes.
let's take some of those
Take
points
it back.
and dig a little deeper. Music. There's a reason that in the movie Close Encounters of a Third Kind, the aliens come.
Yeah.
And they're not speaking a foreign
Right.
language, right? They're speaking the universal language and speaking music. How connected do you get to an audience when you're DJing or walking down the street? How important is music as a connecting device in your life?
Oh my God. It's life. It is life. It's life in itself.
Mm.
I mean, great point with Close Encounters. Like, sound is universal. You know, even if you are hearing impaired, you can still feel sound. I know this from working in hospice with folks who had no more hearing. Once I played music for them, they were tapping their feet just from my iPhone. So I know it's vibrational. It's maybe magical. It's spiritual. It's just like delightful, you know?
Yeah, I went to a concert recently, and I know we've all seen this before, but you know, on the side of the stage, you see the person signing, and I just think how special it is for those people that are attending the show that are hearing impaired, but like you said, feel the vibration, and they love it, and they're dancing, but they can't hear it, but they're feeling it.
Yeah, my dog is deaf. I'll play music with heavy bass.
Wait, of course your dog is deaf. You wouldn't, of course. You wouldn't have your average perfectly healthy dog. Does your dog have 4 legs or just 2? Because with you,
just 6 legs.
6 legs, right? That's just who you are. You talked about going to hospices. You talked about scoring things for NASA. You talked about music in a way that touches anyone who's ever watched what we're doing, and certainly Sharon's life and mine. Music heals. And music heals, and music grows, you know? So a world without music for you is what?
Ooh, terrifying. I mean, you said that and I immediately felt kind of off, almost nauseous. And then the second thought was, I just remember a face in Rikers Island. Like, I used to DJ inside Rikers Island. And I was one of
Hold on. Of course she DJ'd in Rikers Island, of course, because it's a very high-paying gig and she cares about this. Brand building doesn't always mean you are paid in money. Sometimes you are paid in inspiration and elevation by elevating others. Just a sidebar. Back to you.
I will agree with that. I'll tell you a little bit about the Rikers work. I was one of the few people who could bring contraband into the prison, specifically Rose M. Singer Center, the women's prison. So contraband being power cables, XLR cables, because those are dangerous inside there, but they would let me bring them in so that I could bring music from the outside into these spaces where these women were either sentenced or still waiting for a hearing. There were so many people in different colored jumpsuits, and I would ask, what does that color mean? What does this color mean? This person's been sentenced, that person's waiting. She doesn't even have a date. They're all in limbo. But whenever I'd have these music events, they're happy. They were smiling. They were in tears. They were laughing. And they were still in there, you know? So that is an example of the healing power of music.
You think of Johnny Cash going to Folsom. You think of B.B. King going to prison, and I think it was in Chicago. And DJ Cherish is bringing
Wow.
the love to
Wow.
Rikers. That's
Wow.
you're in great.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
Mitchell.
music is critical.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's the thing, it's you're doing things like that to make people feel good, make people feel better, but then you're also working on films for Netflix. And you recently met our director Billy working on the Arsenio show that was on Netflix.
One more time. Cherish the love. DJ Cherish is with me.
Love you, Arsenio. Yeah.
It's so fun having a diverse way of expressing the music and sharing the music that's not just positive or negative, it's just sharing.
Yeah. And I think that's what I love the most about, again, like I've said this before, music to me and DJing is like public speaking. It is audible, it is public, there's an audience, and I get to express, I really get to control the scene. So I've worked on 60 shows for Netflix. And in every different show, in every different scene, it's a different world, and then I get to decide how to set that vibe.
You've worked on innumerable shows for Netflix. You've worked live events. You're working with NASA. You worked on recently scoring a film.
Deepak.
Deepak, that little guy, of course, Deepak. By setting the environment, you're helping to build that experience and building experience for a brand and for a feeling. Do you reverse engineer that? Do you do the same music for each, or are you creating a mood that reflects the purpose of the brand and the story?
No, it always starts with me. So every project that I wanted to say start, but it's kind of like every project that gets attracted to me is they just kind of land in my hands.
Well, let me re-ask it then.
Yeah.
You get a call from Netflix on one of the movies, TV series, whatever they're doing. How does the process start for you?
Oh my gosh. So that's a great question because I'm kind of proud of it. So by now they say, hey, we know you're so reliable and you make really great sounding stuff. And we know that you can work as fast as yesterday. So this is what the project is. This is the vibe. We know you can handle all the vibes. And then I sit there and I literally close my eyes and start hearing. I start hearing the tempo. I start hearing the instruments, the synths, the percussion, the piano, the MIDI notes I want to place. And like right now I hear something. Like it's amazing. Then I start to create it and then go through the process of this is crap. This is just me. This is not what they want. And then I make 8 iterations and then it always ends up being the first thing.
Instinct, that initial instinct.
Yeah.
We always look at different things in life and see how, what? If I would have just gone with the first thing I thought of, usually is the right thing.
Music also.
Layers of the onion. That is DJ Cherish the Love. You've had the layer of a kid who is bullied, who then re-embraces their name and identity, in a pact with a greater power to help your mom. Then you go on to a big career in graphics and you're whiz-banging it at MSG, the world's most famous arena. You go on a longboard off a short cliff, land on your head, not once, not twice, power of 3. Go into total amnesia. You don't know who you are, what you are. So you're now blank. And then music enters your life and transforms your life and you transform others. We're digging through the layers, right? What's the next chapter? What's the next layer?
Wow. More collaboration. This past solid decade was like healing myself. And I think I'm good, and I want to teach folks how to listen to themselves more like they are music. I think that there's so much, because I know it from my earlier life, there's so much I didn't listen to about myself. That's why I crashed, because I didn't listen to a voice that actually said to me, do not go down this hill. And I was like, and then went down anyway.
Collaborating, right? She talks about collaborating. She's thinking NASA, Deepak, Adam Carolla, movies, TV. Sharon and I are thinking a little bit more immediate and a little selfishly. So, should you elect to pick this up, we offer you the following collaboration. Our theme here at Deeper Dives, Strutting Like Drexel. Written for my dog Drexel, who struts when I walk in. Would you care to remix it and we'll have that on our end credits?
I got you.
Yes.
Boom.
Done.
She meets us and her career is going back down, but when you hit rock bottom, you always discover something new and great. For all of us at Deeper Dives, thank you for watching. Tune in on our social media, our YouTube channel. Look outside the window. Sharon and I will be hanging signs saying, watch us, watch us, watch us. We can be reached at Deeper Dive, and you...
On Instagram at DJ Cherish the Love. Love is spelled L-U-V.
Nothing but love. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.